Hey guys, I'm back.
What? No!
With the Amazing World of Gumball returned to us, it's time we ask the long-pondered question about the show. Which character has the worst existence? What, you weren't thinking it? Every character in the show is something completely different and in a different art style. Tons of different species live in Elmore, and I want to know which one was done the dirtiest by God or the Void or whatever higher power. Whatever. When I say worst existence, I only mean this based on the thing they exist as, being the biggest day-to-day inconvenience, or having adversity for simply being born as a banana or a piece of paper. This doesn't include characters with miserable lives but have a normal form. Someone like Frankie or Larry, they are at least bipeds at a regular size. I'm also only going over the main cast of characters, no one-offs or inanimate objects coming to life. Generally, if they have a name and interact with the cast regularly, they'll count for consideration. Anyway, let's start off with Alan. Alan is just a balloon, okay? There's obvious issues like having no limbs except for a small string, and just being able to be blown around by wind. But Alan is just really easy to kill. Not only has he popped multiple times, but he's watched his parents pop right in front of him. Also, Alan can't eat normally, and he has to, yeah, okay. And in a cruel twist of fate, his true love is with a cactus. Anytime they try to kiss, he pops. Okay, so Alan is an easy contender for worst existence, but Alan tends to take it all with a smile on his face and is easily the most positive character on the show. Heck, the world turns black and white when Alan gets sad. I don't know what made them so happy.
I don't think I have the strength to inflate. Thanks, Gumball.
Whatever, man.
Well, that might explain it. Alan just isn't phased enough to have the worst existence. Next is Juke. He's kind of a simple case. He doesn't have much screen time, but all we really know is that he can only make boombox noises.
Dude, I have no idea what you're saying.
He was originally from the continent of Boomboxenberg. Yes, I said continent.
Boomboxenberg is a continent. There's more than one country, you know. Scratchistan, Luxembourg, Rapia, the Democratic Republic of Rhythm.
Now, it's already sad for many foreign students to be able to communicate, but Juke is a special case because, like, I don't think he could even learn another language if he tried. You know, his head is a boombox. Like, he can't talk. What's Duolingo gonna do? But wait, apparently he can speak English. The only way he can is by flipping a switch on his back. Problem solved, right? Well, no, because he can't reach the switch himself, and it can just be turned off by anyone. The idea that any random person can limit your speech at any moment has really scary implications. Help me! I'm being kidnapped! Whoa, what's going on? Sorry, I can't understand you. He's probably fine. What about the foodies? Multiple characters are just pieces of food. Food that still exists in the world of Gumball, by the way, that already raises the existential crisis of watching people eat your own kind on a regular basis, and just having to make peace with it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Here's a 20.
Or you can just embrace full cannibalism, or just eat yourself.
Is that serious enough for you?
Not only are they sentient, but they're just as edible as their food counterparts. How terrifying. These little guys can just get pecked at by birds all day, and can you imagine how moldy they would actually be at 12 years old? Banana Joe seems pretty comfortable with it. He gets to have an outer layer to make jokes with, although I wonder how annoying it is for your eyes to be googly eyes. Does your vision just always slump down? Anton is just a piece of toast. Most of his on-screen appearances end with him dying in some way. He might be the most fragile character in the whole show, but did you know that Anton is secretly immortal? He can respawn whenever you pop toast out of a toaster. He's sort of like Kenny from South Park, but bread. But I think the worst existence of the foods has to go to Idaho.
What's a phone? I use this here thingamajig to smarten out folks with flare pants and colorful knitwear. My papa says their activity is gonna bring about the apocalypse.
He's not only edible and fragile like the others, but if he is too far away from organic soil, he can die. And this is where his home is. It's so far away from everything. Does he walk here? He's so small that it could take him days to get to society. Him being a potato literally means he is forever in this giant wasteland. It's not like his, I think, Amish family has a car. Being this small actually sucks. But what about being too big? Most people still get to be regular sized, but then you have people like Tina, one of my favorite characters. Sure, she might be very strong and people might fear her, but public infrastructure is not built around people like Tina. She can't fit indoors without breaking them. She accidentally hurts people when walking around, and one bad turn and she could just knock over everything. The only home big enough for her is literally the garbage dump. Oh my god. Plus, she has the T-Rex curse of having small arms, so it isn't like being tall helps her out either. But what about Hector? Bro is taller than skyscrapers, towering above all of Elmore at all times. Everyone can just stare at your exposed body all day. At least Tina can fit in the classrooms. How is Hector even supposed to socialize with anyone? The only time he's seen indoors is in the football club, and apparently he lost the football game. How? Your leg is wider than the goalpost. Also, he can just as easily destroy everything by accident. During a dream, he ended up undeniably killing multiple people, even at the military after him. And it's probably not a one-time occurrence, and he just has to live with it the next day. But just like Alan, Hector seems to like this. When he gets the chance to be regular sized, he ends up lamenting it. I don't know how people can stay positive when they exist as things like this. I guess that's why Carrie is such a nice change of pace. She's a stereotypical emo girl, and who could blame her when you're literally born dead? I guess being killed all the time isn't so bad. At least you got to be alive. She's over 300 years old, but she's still a preteen that has to go to middle school. She does get to have fun ghost powers, but she doesn't get to enjoy any natural pleasures like eating, and she has to possess people just to enjoy it. I guess it can't be as bad as Alan. I think if most people had to guess my answer, they would say William. He's just an eyeball. That might be imposing, but like, have you ever touched anything with your eye? He's so squishy and icky. His eye, no, his entire body must be watery all the time. And the wings don't help much, I'm sorry. Also, he doesn't have a mouth, so he doesn't talk or eat, and he's just kind of there, unable to fit in. No stories to involve him.
And then there's William. Surely the chlorine in the water's gonna sting his everything.
Shh, he'll hear you.
Doesn't have ears.
I think you heard his feelings.
How could you tell? He's kind of hard to read without an eyebrow, or mouth, or cheeks, or nostrils.
Thankfully, he does have telekinetic powers.
Blows up pancakes with mine.
My fucking pain.
That way he can at least exist and function. Here he is, just trying to take a test. Can't take the test. He has to cry just to flip the paper. Oh my god!
Oh, sorry, William. Here.
William by far has the worst physical form of any character in the Amazing World of Gumball, but I don't think he has the worst existence. No, no, no. You might not expect this answer, but if I had to pick which character in the Amazing World of Gumball has the worst existence, it would be Bobert. Hear me out, okay? I know he's a cool robot with the power to fly, shoot lasers, and he has an adaptable body type. How does Bobert have the worst existence? Well, Bobert has some challenges, adversity that only happens because he is a robot. And it isn't just physical limits, okay? It's mental. I'm going to cut to the chase. The shit they get away with Bobert is insane. First of all, they can just control what he does remotely. His mode and emotions can basically be manipulated at any moment. You can also just disable him by pouring water on him. Bobert is actually version 6B, and they still come out with new versions of Bobert, which, by the way, basically means he's owned by a corporation and probably doesn't have parents. And despite being a robot, he has just enough human emotion given to him to feel sad that they want to replace him.
Look, you know we love you just the way you are, but we feel like we could love you more if you were better.
System alert. Self-esteem file corrupted.
What the hell? This is genuinely so sad to me.
No senses, no feelings. Never for me.
Almost all of Bobert's stories are just him misunderstanding things, and it's not a personality or skill issue. If you still don't think Bobert has the worst existence, then look at this.
Well, we just saw in Bobert's memory. What memory?
She did that with just one flick of her wrist. I can't do this anymore. Not one dude is a real friend to our boy, and this hurts me too much. Moral of the story is, in Elmore, no one is born equal. Have a good day.